Welcome to Flourish. I am so excited to be able to bring you a platform that is dedicated to equipping you for impact. Welcome back to Flourish, guys. So I know that I originally promised that I was going to have interviews with my female friends, but I have so many great male friends as well. And today I have Darrin. Darrin is the founder and CEO of two, not one, but two six-figure businesses. He is the founder of Glowfidence, which is a nonprofit that is aimed toward helping minorities to rise through giving them skills. I've taught classes for Glowfidence University. And so Darrin is just on a mission to do amazing things. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about doing business God's way. And Darrin is going to be giving us some helpful tips and tricks around changing our mindset to doing business God's way. So everybody, welcome Darrin.
Hi guys, thank you. I know you said it's going to be only women, but it's a plot twist.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so and like for people who don't know me, my name is Darrin Cook from New Orleans. Always been an entrepreneur. Always. I remember going to Mardi Gras parades in New Orleans, getting Mardi Gras beads and selling them on eBay as a child, 12, 13 years old. So this is always who I am. This is just in my DNA. So I always knew that it was so much more in life than working a job. You know, I'm a visionary. I've always wanted to create ideas. So when I graduated college, I moved to Atlanta, worked for a company. Great opportunity, like the only one in the southern region got to be in that opportunity, but instantly, Sapori, I knew it was not a good fit. I remember telling my manager, who we both know, this is not where I'm supposed to be on day one. And she was just like, everybody feels like this. Everybody, go through this. And I'm just like, I know it's not. It's not. So I stepped out on faith the first time. And looking back, I was still people pleasing. I felt like in order for me to have a legitimate business, I had to have an office. We were just having a conversation by that. I needed to have a work phone. I need to have all these things. My business is website design. I have clients in New Orleans. I have clients in LA. Even if I had a nice office in Atlanta, those clients would never come because it's virtual. Yeah. So I had so many expenses. I didn't know if I was coming or going. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about stress is when you lay in that bed at night and trying to figure out how you're going to pay your bills. And like, I left my job. So it's just like, what am I going to do? Yeah. So I had to regroup. Mm-hmm. I bought a rental property. I was doing this. I was traveling, everything. Didn't really have the toolbox, the toolkit to really make this happen. So, and like, I'm transparent, Corey, I remember I messed up my credit so bad, and I'm not ashamed to say it now because I want my story to be my testimony and inspire someone else. Yeah. I had to file bankruptcy. I had to do a Chapter 13. I remember going to the bankruptcy court in New Orleans with my mom and just crying, feeling like a failure. I was so young. I was so ambitious. And for this to happen, but hindsight, that's when God said, do not put a period where he placed a comma. Yeah. Because in that time frame, I've had so much success and so much learning. But what I did was a pivotal moment. I regrouped myself in New Orleans. I worked a job in New Orleans. I went and got another job. And I said, whatever I did wrong, I'm going to learn from it because the next time when I step out, I'm going to fly. Yes. So what I did, I worked hard in New Orleans. I got my money together. I learned everything I needed to do. I went back, which was crazy. I went back to that corporation in Atlanta, which I didn't like the first time, but I was in a different role. And I knew this time it was different because I was trusting myself and I trusted God. So I moved back to Atlanta in 2014. Loved my job, met amazing people, learned project management, learned all the skill sets I needed. And then when it was time to segue last year, all those best practices I've learned just through experience has made this time around so much better.
We always have, ever since I met you a few years back, we always have such nurturing conversation, especially when it comes to business and all the things that you're doing. I'm always inspired by you and what you're doing. So my first question to you is, what daily do you do to kind of submit what you do for the day to God?
So as soon as I wake up, before I check my phone, before I do anything, I sit in the bed and reflect, and I say, God, please continue to lead my footsteps. Mm-hmm. And I just want to just be aligned with my Creator before I even start the day.
And as you go throughout the day and things come up, that guiding and that leading, like, how do you adjust to that guiding and that leading as you go throughout the day? Because I love waking up.
Yeah, and I think it's just coming to, like I tell people, a relationship with God is just like a relationship with your mom, relationship with your spouse, relationship with your friends. And as you go on through life, you really see how God communicates with you. Yeah. So as long as, when you're able to connect with the Creator, mm-hmm. it's effortless, really. It's effortless, and you have so much peace within yourself. Yeah.
So I know that you're a serial entrepreneur, and you've done this a few times.
Listen.
Man, been around the block. I know how it feels.
Yes.
What is the biggest difference between doing business, before you ask God to lead your footsteps, and then now?
Oh my God. Taking back to when I first left my corporate job, I think at 20 or 21, I was adventurous. I thought I knew it all. And I thought I can go out there and create my own lane. And God was there to pick up the pieces. But what I look back now in hindsight is 2020, Seporia, when everything has to be aligned at the perfect time, at the perfect season, in doing what God calls you to do. We all have really an obligation to fulfill our purpose in life. Mm-hmm. And it's up to us to really get down to what I'm passionate about and what we're passionate about, and how does that align with God's vision for our life. So during that time when I was doing business and things like that, it was more about what Darrin wanted. It was more about people, pleasing people. I was really big on pleasing other people, doing things that other people thought I should be doing, and not necessarily doing what God had ordained for me to do. Mm-hmm. So I had to really go on a spiritual journey to really tune out the noise and get connected. Yeah. And I think I really honed in on it throughout this last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. I remember the first time I went out into full-time entrepreneurship, it was the exact same thing. It was like, I did it for every reason but the reason of God used me. It was about, I want to be successful. And if they're doing it, why can't I do it? Versus saying, like you said, like, what's God's purpose for me? Why am I here? What am I, what does God want to do with my life? And I think oftentimes we forget that. Saying yes, it's a coming back to remembering that God created me for a purpose. On how do you go about when you're making business decisions, when you're making decisions in terms of partnerships and brand sponsors and people that you work with? How do you go about making sure that those partnerships are in alignment with God and what's God's best for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, just with everything I do these days, it has to feel good. It has to be really good energy. And it has to be something that's natural and organic. And if it's not a good fit towards, for business or anything, or even personal, I'm not going to pursue it, because I know what God has in store for me is for me, and nobody can take it. So mm-hmm. I pray for it. If this is not for me, or if this opportunity does not have my name on it, block it by any means
Yes.
necessary.
So at this point,
you
I'm
have
asking
to
Darrin,
really
what do you do about failure?
understand your journey and understand that in order to be successful, you have to go through failures. We all go. Even if you're looking at the greats like Walt Disney, he filed for bankruptcy like 3 or more times. Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, everybody had to fail. And in order for me to inspire and teach somebody else, I had to go through life.
Yeah. And I think it's the greatest example, even of, how everybody great has to go through that experience of failure, because what ends up happening is, one, for me, it drove me back to dependence on God. It was like, I refuse. Now I'm at a point where it's like, I do not make a move, or I refuse to take anything, like you said. I don't want anything that God didn't order, because if I take it and God didn't order it, now I have to maintain and sustain it. And I don't want to do that.
That's right.
So I think that what failure helps us do is to return to that place of like, okay, I'm not doing this on my own. I just got to do this, to partner with me. And like you said, it's also a matter of when you do fail, when you get back up and when you get back into that place, assess what happened so that you don't have to talk more toward this. I want to bring out this point is a lot of people want to leave the training ground, which is corporate America, or whatever job you have, want to leave the training ground in order to go into full-time entrepreneurship. But to your point, and you can talk more about it, the processes and things that you implemented in your business came from the training that you had in corporate.
Absolutely. You will never hear me bash my previous employer. I was able to set myself up. I was able to, buy my house and everything. I was able to really do smart moves, use those tools to, have your game plan for your exit strategy. Don't look at it as if, something wrong was having a 9-to-5. You can have a great life with a 9-to-5, and you can use that big salary to fuel your initiative, whatever it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Think of your job, even if you're making $50,000, that's a $50,000 contract you got guaranteed coming in every year. And nothing is better than guaranteed money. So it kills me when people frown upon having a job. You know what I mean? You have to shift your whole mindset if you really want to be successful. And one thing too, people pleasing will be the death of you. Because you cannot please God and please other people.
Yes.
And that means family, that means friends and everything. You have to let that go, because it's draining for one, and you will definitely be in the poorhouse by trying to please people. And
those people are not going to be there to dig you out the poorhouse.
They're not. They're not even to flip it on the other side, just like me. Everybody knows me as being a techie. Everybody knows me with gadgets. When I started my beauty business, Glow Beauty Group, everybody was telling me, you don't know anything about beauty. Beauty is competitive and everything. And one thing about me, I'm going to try for myself. And what happened? I'm doing really well at it because I believed in myself and I know how to tune out the voice. One thing corporate America really taught me, Seporia, was that those skill sets that you learn, the fundamental skill sets, are transferable. That's why you see officers in a corporation over HR, and then over IT, then they're over procurement or something like that. So once you learn those skills, it's fine. One thing I know about myself, I'm really good at building teams, and I'm a connector. So whether if I'm going to have a technology business or I'm going to start a sanitation business, I know the fundamentals. So if you know the fundamentals, you can really apply those principles to regardless of whatever industry you're in. So it really goes down to knowing yourself and just being aligned with what God has in store for you. I wanted to touch on, a lot of times people are telling you to do different things when you're trying to please them. And not that they're going to laugh. Sometimes they cannot bail you out. They don't have the money and the capital to bail you out. When you're doing something so great, if like say for me right now, if I didn't know how to manage my money, very few people can bail me out. You know what I mean? Because I don't have little bitty expenses. I have big expenses.
Yeah.
So you have to get comfortable with listening to yourself and being connected to God. Yeah. And one thing I want to add too, since I've stepped out this time, everything has been amazing. But the thing I'm most proud of, I have so much peace with myself, and I'm so happy with myself. You know what I mean? So outside of everything with the businesses and the nonprofit, that's really a bonus because I can look at myself in the mirror and be proud of myself every day. And it's not contingent on anyone else. I'm not seeking validation from anyone else. Mm-hmm. It's just me and God. So everything else is really a bonus. I'm enjoying the journey.
Yes. I love that because I think that that's key too. I think the biggest difference, or I know the biggest difference between the first time I started businesses and now is that peace within, you know, is that I'm not going out looking for someone to say, yes, Sequoia, you can do this, or yes, Sequoia. If they do, great, you know, but if they don't, you know, that's fine too, because I've already settled it with God. And I think one of the things I want you guys to take away, really especially from what Darrin is talking about, is when you've already gotten your yes from God, especially when it comes to business, run with it.
Yes.
Run with it.
Yes.
Don't wait for someone to rubber stamp. Don't wait with in terms of the yes, the continual yes, because I think that when we say yes to God and when we say yes to doing business God's way, it's like, okay, God, you give me an idea. Mm-hmm. The idea goes into, you start with the idea and goes into implementation, but it's all those hurdles along the way that a lot of people don't talk about. How do you, in that continue, how do you stay passionate about the yes?
So really it goes down to really doing things that I'm passionate about. Everything I'm doing, from Glowfidence to Glow Beauty Group to my Mogul Media, I'm super passionate. And you've seen firsthand, like when I was starting out with Glow, with those trade shows, hauling those boxes, interacting with those customers at trade shows. It was something I wanted to do, and I can always see the vision. I can see my future. You know, if I keep going, I can see it. I'm resilient. You know, I have a teachable spirit. I'm always willing to learn. I have a great personality. I treat people with respect. So when you have all those qualities and it's worked 30 years, why would I go back and start changing what I do now? Mm-hmm. And it makes it easier for me now because it's just like, okay, if I'm a data guy. So if I look at the data and I say, okay, I followed my own mind and trust God and it got me to this point, and it worked, why would I not do it? It's proven. It's proven time and time again. Yeah, it's proven time and time again. And also, too, just to piggyback on what you said, when you have an idea, run with it, but also learn to keep your mouth closed. Mm-hmm. You don't want to talk about an idea unless it's finalized and it's sealed, you know, unless the ink is dry. Because outside thoughts and voices will disrupt what God has in store for you. You can block your blessing by talking about it. So if you have a new deal, even if you're excited, have that one or two people who you can really confide in, who is safe. Don't go and post it on social media. Don't go and tell, you know, everybody. Let that be sacred between you and God and maybe your very close circle.
Yeah. And I love that you said the word sacred, because in business, a lot of times businesses run by partnership. You know, businesses run by people coming alongside of you, like you said, building a team. But the sacredness and the vision is, I'm going to share at the time and with whom God has told me to, because it's God's idea. This is not my idea. And so I don't have the right to just go out and share, you know, God's idea. It's like God comes to us. And I think oftentimes we forget that we're the vessel that is being used to bring forth the ideas. God wanted to start a beauty company through you. You see? Like you allow God to give you direction on how to execute, what to do, everything, because it's not your idea. And I think when we really understand that and work with that, it takes the pressure off of us to try and figure it out and make something of our businesses. It's like, okay, you brought the idea to me, so you have to bring, and I agree. Going off, when you realize that it's sacred, I'm not going, it's kind of like telling your friend secrets. I'm not going off and going to share it, without their permission.
Yes.
And it helps us because outside influences, people are not always going to get it. They're not going to understand your vision. They're not going to always rubber stamp what you have to say and what you want to do. I can think of very few times where I've had an idea and I'm able to go to so many people and they're like, yes, go ahead with the idea. I can count a lot of times though where I've had an idea and I've gone to people and they mean no harm, but just the questioning and the what ifs and everything made me close off and throw away the idea.
Or they'll come and maybe try to take your idea.
Yeah, that's happened.
Or take your idea, or they'll tell their friend and they'll tell their friend, and the next thing you know, somebody's doing your idea, and it's just like, how is that possible?
Yep.
And it could be innocent. So to save all of that chaos, keep it between you, God, and very, very close people. Let it be sacred. My
last question is, how does your circle, your friendship circle, your personal circle play a part in, one, encouraging you to continue to say yes to God and what you're doing, and then two, push your ventures forward? How do you leverage your circle and create your circle?
Absolutely. And of course, you're in my circle, so it's a it's a no-brainer. You guys just really are the wind beneath my wings.
Oh.
I feel like I'm out here and I'm fearless and I'm making moves, but it's so good to just have my village knowing they have my back. And like I always tell people, like I was telling you and Frank on the call yesterday, because he did amazing with the Glowfidence video. Yeah, you did amazing. He did amazing. And guys, I am truly on the ride of my life right now. I really mean that. Things are amazing. I'm super happy. And I have so much peace within my soul. I just know great things are going to happen. I just know it. But even if that small window, if things didn't go as planned, I will be fine, because I have amazing people like you in my corner. I have amazing family. I have amazing other friends. What could possibly go wrong? You know what I mean? So even if I had to go back, and I mean talking back, if I had to go back, God forbid, and move to New Orleans again, I have amazing friends, amazing family. I will regroup. I will learn from it, and I will get it, and I will do better. I love what I do. I'm focused on all my initiatives. What doesn't kill you will only make you stronger. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to pivot to what else I need to be focused on. I'm always willing to take advice. I want to continue to allow God to lead my footsteps and really trust in the process.
Yes. Hold the vision, trust the process. I love it. Darrin, thank you so much.
Oh, welcome.
For blessing us with your presence. I am so grateful to have you in my personal circle and to be able to just share you with the Flourish community. Guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. We're going to have so much more content coming your way, helpful content to help you to flourish God's way. And until next time, may we grow together.
Thank you.
Thank you.